Have you heard? It's truck news.
No way, Jose.
The Truck Show. We're gonna show you what we know. We're gonna answer what the truck. 'Cause truck rhymes with the Truck Show. We have the lifted, we have the lowered, and everything in between. We'll talk about trucks that run on diesel, electricity, and on gasoline. The Truck Show, the Truck Show, the Truck Show. Oh, oh.
It's the Truck Show with your host, Holman.
What's up, and welcome back to another edition of the Truck Show podcast. Have you heard? The Truck Show podcast is proudly brought to you in partnership with AMSOIL, the maker of the best synthetics and the same ones we use in our rigs. Did you know AMSOIL is more than just synthetic oils? They also make some of the finest lubricants, greases, additives, filters, car care products, and yes, even merch. And for those of you who can never find your 10mm sockets, you're going to love that the current promotion is a free 10mm emergency socket set with any order of $100 or more by using the code SOCKET626 by June 16th, 2026. We use AMSOIL products to protect our rigs, and you can do the same by heading to AMSOIL.com or by using our special link at TruckShowPodcast.com and finding it under the Featured Products tab. Do you need a knife? Then head on over to Kershaw.kaiusa.com and explore their line of exceptional pocket knives. They have a huge selection of quality knives from EDCs and ones made in America, as well as automatics. You can score one for yourself today. If you want to treat yourself to the latest in adventure, gear, and upgrades for your vehicle, go to OVRmag.com and use the code at TruckShowPodcast for a discount on print or 1-year access to our digital library for free. The Truck Show podcast survives off of sponsorships and your reviews. Please help me to keep it free by supporting our sponsors and leaving reviews and comments on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Have you heard?
No! God, no!
Well, our first story for this episode is Ford recently announced a vehicle collaboration with Seattle-based outdoor outfitter Filson. The Bronco Filson, it's an interesting mix, both of unique features and some part spin pieces that have been used in new ways, but it looks pretty good. So, for example, the basic vehicle, think four-door Bronco, Sasquatch package standard with 35s on unique Filson edition wheels, front and rear locking diffs, Fox shocks. But what's kind of cool is on the drivetrain, it gets the same twin-turbo 3-liter. That makes 418 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque in the Bronco Raptor, which is paired with the 10-speed automatic. However, it lacks the selectable performance exhaust due to the luxury intent of this model and has its own tune, so power may be slightly different. The visual Filson upgrades include things like unique front grille and finish, painted mirror caps, wheel arches. Inside, it's said to be the quietest Bronco yet. Ford says they've improved airflow, they've added acoustic glass, enhanced the seals, and it's reduced wind and road noise. Ford says there's nearly 20% less perceived wind noise in the Filson compared to the 2021 launch year Bronco. And inside the cabin, the Bronco also comes with materials informed by Filson's palettes and textures. That includes quilted leather seats with woven fabric trim, a leather-wrapped dash, and brass accents on the steering wheel and goat dial. Other touches, as you would expect, include Filson-inspired detachable storage bags that are integrated into the doors, and there are optional ones for the cargo area. Bronco Filson is the first Bronco that gets power retractable steps and a digital rear-view mirror with washer, and it continues to lean into luxury with ventilated and heated front seats, also a first on Bronco. And then other standard features like heated rear seats and an upgraded B&O audio system. Ford is also launching a Bronco Filson First Edition, which will feature the exclusive color Iron Sands Copper Metallic. Other Bronco Filson models can also be had in a unique field green metallic paint. And that one will come with unique fender badging, the cargo area storage bags, and serialized console badging. And if you remember, AV did this back with the JK and Brute, probably 10 years ago. Those Filson editions are really collectible today and hard to find. So it'll be interesting to see how the market responds to the Ford version of a Bronco Filson tie-up. As far as getting one, the order books will open up this fall, and then you should expect to see Filson editions beginning to arrive in the showroom Q1 of next year. Ford hasn't provided any pricing information yet, but my guess is this is a test for a top-of-the-line Bronco model that will sit up there with Bronco Raptor, so you'll either choose performance or you'll choose luxury. And my guess is it's going to be on par with a Bronco Raptor, so thinking somewhere in the $75,000 to $85,000 range. That would be my guess for this special edition. Did you guys see the new GMC Hummer concept? It looks like drivable Legos is the best way to describe it. they surprised the automotive community by putting together an unveiling of 2 GMC Hummer X vehicles. So one's a pickup truck, one's an SUV. And GM says they're just concepts, but they are mid-sized vehicles rolling on 37s. So it's a step down from the Hummer SUV size of today and right in line with where the market's going. And it's interesting because it has like exposed, it's not bodywork. It's just like the way it looks is like there's minimal amount of color panels for like the hood and the doors, and the rest is like this sort of exoskeleton looking thing. It's very futuristic looking and very cool. And it's a concept vehicle that uses GM's, what they're calling a flex fab manufacturing technique. And it came out of their advanced design studio in Pasadena. SUV on 37s looks great. The mid-sized version of the concept is on 35s. Still looks great. Big wheels. But again, it looks super futuristic. And it's the type of design that you would expect to be a Hot Wheel or a model truck or something like that. And it's just 0.7 inches shorter than a current Chevy Colorado GMC Canyon on wheelbase. And it's got some pretty awesome approach and departure angles. Like the pickup truck has an approach of 41.5, departure of 29.7, and breakover of 24.9. Ground clearance is 12.5 inches. So that's better than a Gladiator Rubicon. It's better than a Toyota Tacoma TRD. And when you look at the SUV, they get even better. Approach angle, 44 degrees. Departure angle, 46 degrees. Breakover, 30.9. Ground clearance, 13.2 inches. Again, that's on 37s. And it's really close to a Bronco Raptor. So it sounds like they kind of said, we want to be like this in the truck space and like this in the SUV space, and they went after it. So knowing that there's a bunch of different vehicles that are coming, we've got Hyundai and their pickup truck and SUV, you've got Xterra, you've got the Scouts, both the SUV and the pickup, you've got the new Rivian R2. It sounds like GM is hinting that they want to be in that mix. And of course, GM's saying the Hummer X concept vehicles are not meant to go into production, but I think it's a tease at the future. So features, design language, things like that. You look at it and you get what they're trying to accomplish here. And it just looks so futuristic. I dig it. News from Mitsubishi says that it's going to be developing a new pickup truck for the North American market, and it will be on the Nissan Frontier platform. So if you guys remember the Mighty Max, which was a pretty good truck in its own right, and the overseas Triton, which continues to do well for Mitsubishi, even though Mitsubishi here in the States has really become sort of a non-contender, if you will. The last time that there was a Mitsubishi here was the Mitsubishi Raider, which was built on the last generation or final generation Dakota platform. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here. They want to get back into the North American market, and they know that they need to be here with the mid-size trucks. So they're going to do it in collaboration with Nissan to save some money. And Mitsubishi just keeps coming with the announcements. They recently said, hey, the Pajero SUV is coming back to the market, which I'm not sure if it's going to be here in the U.S., but that's the one we knew as Montero. And they're adding more off-road vehicles, and this truck is going to be part of that scheme. So if you look at the new model product roadmap, there are going to be 13 new models from Mitsubishi. So maybe they'll become a contender again, but they have been not even second or third fiddle. I mean, they went from being a pretty good car company with a lot of clout to being almost nothing here in the United States. And so what do you think? Does a new Mitsubishi pickup truck excite you? Would you be happy to get one if it's on a Nissan Frontier platform? And would you just go to Nissan to get one, or would you actually shop Mitsubishi? I'd be curious what your thoughts are. truckshowpodcast@gmail.com, or you can give us a call on the 5-star hotline, 657-205-6105. So Ford seems to be admitting something that we've been saying here in the Truck Show Podcast for a long time, and that's that full-size EV trucks don't make sense. And I've said it here before that I think that mid-size Rivian truck, that is sort of the maximum place where the weight of the vehicle and batteries and the capability kind of come together. And beyond that, you get a point of diminishing returns, because with batteries to do all the stuff you need to use for trucks, you just get bigger and heavier. And unlike a fuel tank that gets lighter as you drive, the electrons don't weigh anything, so you're always carrying the mass of that battery pack, no matter what your existing range left. So it sounds like Alan Clark, Ford's executive director of advanced EV development, said on a recent appearance on Edmunds' podcast, quote unquote, big trucks are a tougher market than small trucks. He says that towing is a tough use case to electric vehicles because of the negative impacts they have on range. and talked about the midsize truck being a much better use case for pure EVs because they're generally lighter and don't have the same loads as a full-size truck, which I think is all stuff that we've talked about and have known. He's also the person who's leading the development of the new midsize EV pickup, so he may have some skin in the game, and production for that's supposed to start in 2027. So do you agree? Do you think that full-size trucks are not right for pure EV? I mean, you can look at GM still has theirs, but Ford has dropped the full EV version of Lightning, saying it's going to come back as an EREV, and Ram dropped their BEV as well, saying that the electrified Ram will also come back as EREV only. So sounds like most of the companies are in agreement with each other, but where does GM go? And I wonder what they get out of this EV development by staying in the game. It's interesting to me to see their strategy, and I want to see how long they last. That's the only full-size EV pickup truck manufacturer left. And for those of you out there who are Honda Ridgeline fans,
we're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
No, that's not true. I know for sure there's Ridgeline fans out there. If you were thinking about picking up a Ridgeline, you should do it sooner than later because it sounds like Honda might be pushing the pause button on the Ridgeline production for about 18 months or so. And that is because the current single overhead cam 3.5 liter V6 that has the iVTEC on it no longer hits the emission goals. And it sounds like Honda may be doing a couple things with Ridgeline, giving it a freshening and a fresh drivetrain. Now, if you're thinking, Holman, wait a minute. How does the Ridgeline not pass emissions, but the Odyssey does, and it's got the same engine? No, it doesn't. It actually had the engine changed to the dual overhead cam, non-VTEC engine. So the Ridgeline has the J35Y6 engine. The new engines that meet emissions are the J35Y8 engines. And so that's why the Odyssey and I believe Pilot and Passport are still good to go. So what is the Ridgeline going to come back with? Some reports are saying it'll come back as a hybrid. Some are saying it'll come back with the same engine as the Pilot, Passport, and Odyssey. But either way, it sounds like it's definitely going to be on pause. But it's not going away because I think Honda realizes it needs that truck in the market. And they may just be reevaluating how to position it, especially when they have such an amazing response to the Trail Sport version of the new Passport. So stay tuned on that, and if you want to get your Ridgeline, do it while you can. All right, I realize that there are a lot of stories that we do that don't really require a whole lot of talking. They're just kind of like quick hits. So here's a new jingle and a new segment on Have You Heard?
Quick hits. Quick hits.
Jeep appears to be getting ready for the return of a Hellcat-powered Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. And pilot production is said to begin next month at the plant, which is sort of the precursor to making sure that it's a vehicle that can be built on the production line. The 2027 Ford Expedition gets a windshield upgrade to laminated glass, which will be standard on all trims as a no-cost feature. And this is in addition to the laminated side glass introduced on the side windows for 2026. Ram says it'll offer the non-e-torque Hemi across more trims than just Rumblebee. And the 5.7-liter V8 Hemi will not return to the Grand Cherokee, but a Hurricane 6 is a possibility. Let's check in on some recalls.
Check engine light just went on. Noise under the hood ticks like a bomb. Recall covers metal, glass, leather, and plastic. Door handle pulled off in my hand. Just fantastic.
So we'll start off with Jeep. Stellantis is recalling approximately 419,035 vehicles, including 22 to 26 Jeep Grand Cherokee and 2023 to 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee L models. That's the WL74 and WL75. Due to a software issue with the ORC module, or Occupant Restraint Controller, so the software defect could delay deployment of side airbags during a crash, resulting in the vehicle failing to comply with Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard FMVSS 214 for side impact protection. So according to Stellantis, there's generally no warning signs before the condition occurs. However, once the fault is present, the airbag warning light does remain illuminated in the instrument cluster, and a chime will sound during each ignition cycle. The breakdown is 140,130 Jeep Grand Cherokees and 278,905 Jeep Grand Cherokee L models built between May 16th, 2022 and October 9th, 2025. And Stellantis identified those vehicles through supplier and production records, and vehicles built outside that production time have a door impact pressure sensor from a different supplier. So if you think your vehicle is impacted, then you want to give Chrysler customer service a call, 1-800-853-1403, and then the reference number is recall number 01D. Of course, you can check in and have your dealer run your VIN as well. And while we have some other recall news from other manufacturers, we'll just stick with Stellantis on this one. And apparently there's 12,000 Ram heavy-duty trucks that are being recalled because their tire speed rating does not match their speed limiter. So Ram accidentally set the speed limiter too high on some of its HD pickups, and that allows them to go faster than their tires are rated for. So obviously that's a big deal. Ram's recalling 12,736 2500 HD pickups built between June 21st, 22 and April 14th, 26. For this, they all wear R-rated tires, so that's a 106 mile an hour limit, and Ram typically limits their trucks to 105 miles per hour to stay under that, but apparently these trucks have one that's higher. So you'll want to call up your local dealer, or again, call that Chrysler number. The manufacturer recall number on this one's 43D, and then there's a NHTSA recall number 26V288 as well. But there's no accidents, no injuries that Ram's aware of from this, and it's as simple as doing a quick software update, and you'll be back on the road and back in compliance. So that'll do it for this episode of the Truck Show Podcast. Have you heard? Thank you for listening, and please follow us on social at Truck Show Podcast or at Sean P. Holman. And don't forget, you can always email us, truckshowpodcast@gmail.com, or give us a call on the 5-star hotline, 657-205-6105. Thank you, AMSOIL, and don't forget to spend $100 or more by June 16th and get yourself a free 10mm emergency socket set by using the code SOCKET626. Thank you, Kershaw Knives and OVR Magazine, and glad you came back and listened. Let's do it again real soon.
The Truck Show Podcast is a production of Truck Famous LLC. This podcast was created by Sean Holman and Jay Tillis, hosted by Sean Holman, and uses production elements by DJ Omar Khan and Jay Tillis. If you like what you've heard, please open your Apple Podcast or Spotify app and leave us a 5-star review. And if you're a fan, there's no better way to support the show than by sharing it and patronizing our sponsors. Some vehicles may have been harmed during the making of this podcast.